people living on Western South Toledo describe a house here. They're worried it's turning into a magnet for other issues, putting children's safety in jeopardy. They called 13 Action News for help. Our Claire Mitchell is on your side working to get results.
Violence, drugs,
it's ruined our family,
and trash, all on Western Avenue in Toledo. Some residents tell me they're fed up.
It's just a growing issue.
Mad for sure.
I'm not letting these people run me out of where I'm from.
I met with a group of parents, some wanted to be anonymous, who say this home on Western near Langdon is at the center of the storm.
As soon as them people moved in, they've been nothing but problems. My brother, he has to go and skim the yard before he can let his kids go outside and play. That's not right.
Neighbors have pictures of needles in the backyard. Well, I didn't see any during my visit. That's just the beginning.
There's needles around. One of these kids end up getting stuck with one of these needles. That baby's gonna end up dying.
This backyard has everything in it, like a shopping cart filled with clothes, scrap metal. There are cones, strollers, garbage, even an open fire in that barrel behind me.
Traffic constantly in and out. Everyone's always sneaking down the side of the house.
Nothing has been done.
We're still trying to figure out who is living in this house, but according to the Lucas County auditor, the property is owned by citizens of Hope Toledo, and taxes were last paid in 2021. But it's not just piles of trash and taxes causing concern. Cameras captured what appears to be a gunshot last year, and it shows a person run in the direction of that problem property. We reached out to the Toledo Police Department. They have no reports of shootings at the location, but police did respond to 16 calls to the home in recent years, including 3 reports for a domestic dispute, a theft, and a fight between individuals.
I don't know what else to do.
With the eyesore on full display, neighbors are hopeful the yard and tenants will clean up their act. Reporting in Toledo, I'm Claire Mitchell, 13 Action News.
When the city came out and planted some grass and weeds grow, called Channel 13 News. And you always see it on TV, called Channel 13. My neighbor, when the city came out and planted some grass and weeds grow, called Channel 13 News. And you always see it on TV, called Channel 13 News if you want to get some action.
And he did just that. We're working to get answers for that Toledo resident who called us about neighboring tree branches hanging over his roof.
He says he's been down this road before and really wants to see the trees cut back before the damage is really done. 13 Action News anchor Claire Mitchell on your side, trying to get this problem solved.
Reginald McClellan always has his eyes on the sky, but he's not stargazing or watching the clouds go by.
It's just going to fall into the house.
He's worried about the neighboring trees.
They really always been a problem because the trees always been here.
His house on Norwood Avenue in Toledo sits next to an empty lot. According to the Lucas County auditor, it's owned by the city of Toledo. The lot has giant old trees with branches that hover over his roof. Reggie says he doesn't want history to repeat itself.
As I showed you that picture with the hole in the roof.
He's referring to this picture of his house, taken some years ago. If you look close, it shows a hole in the roof. Reggie says that's after a tree branch fell.
The city had got on me about the roof and the painting and stuff, so I did all that, paid all my fines and everything. And now I'm trying to get the city out here to take care of the trees so don't mess up my new roof.
You can see a branch and some leaves sitting on the new roof now, and what appears to be moss growing behind it.
If they could trim them back, trim that back where away from the house where to save my roof.
But during my visit, I noticed that Reggie's fear came true, just not on his house. I spoke to a woman who lives on the other side of that space. Take a look at her shed behind me. She says that this happened today, Tuesday, shortly before I got here. It's not clear from which tree, but it appears one of the branches fell and crushed her shed.
Because the trees are so old, they're going to eventually just fall.
I messaged the city of Toledo to see what could be done. A spokesperson said they've submitted a request for forestry to inspect the property. Once that assessment is done, they'll be able to follow up with more information. The spokesperson added that the issue hadn't been reported to Engage Toledo, but Reggie's receipts show he's called for help.
Toledo. See it again. Yeah. So seeing is believing, huh? I called twice.
And Reggie says that's not counting the numerous other calls he's made to the city over the years.
So now I need them to do what they need to do to save the roof and to save the house.
Reporting in Toledo, I'm Claire Mitchell, 13 Action News.
answers after watching the sinkhole situation on Arlington Avenue. She's dealing with a separate issue in another neighborhood, one that she says she has been trying to get fixed for years. 13 Action News anchor Claire Mitchell goes on your side tonight to get results.
Juanita Morris says she writes everything down.
1, 2, 3.
This stack of papers is her record of
Calling the city, calling the mayor's office, calling Marcy capture. Oh, Lord, they probably think I'm crazy.
Juanita says for years her calls have been about
The sidewalk is sinking in, and it's causing a lot of damage over here.
Morris tells me she's lived on Bloom Street across from Savage Park in Toledo for over 40 years, and that this dip has grown steeper and steeper over the last several.
That barrel right there has been sitting out here for 7 years. The house is falling, and it's going to fall on my house.
The sinking part of the sidewalk sits in front of the house next door to Juanita. You can see its red brick is starting to pull away. I spoke to the owner of that home at 716 Bloom Street as well, who says he's also worried about the future of his home.
I'm married as a firecracker.
Juanita says her calls for an explanation or a solution from the city have gone unanswered. That is, until we stepped in. I reached out to the city of Toledo to find out what is going on. The city responded saying the city is working on a main sanitary line that has caused the sidewalk in front to buckle. In a separate response, a city spokesperson said, "We've been aware of the need for this sanitary line repair for many years. It's a particularly challenging situation because of how close the line is to the homeowner's residence." While I was talking with Juanita Thursday, crews were working just a few feet away. Then later in the day, I received another email from a city spokesperson saying that city crews are expected to remove and replace the sidewalk next week. For Juanita, this fix can't come soon enough.
Fix it right.
I will follow up with Juanita next week to witness those words in action. Reporting in Toledo, I'm Claire Mitchell, 13 Action News.
It's just an ongoing problem.
Feminine products, bottles of urine, feces. So we need to get them people out of this neighborhood to make it better.
Frustrations are high on Western Avenue in Toledo. Last week, we spoke with some residents who are also parents concerned about one house attracting crime and trash.
Since then, the owner was ordered to clean up, but did that person follow through?
13 Action News anchor Claire Mitchell is on your side with the follow-up.
This Western Avenue resident says he can't use his backyard.
I can't have company just come over without them having to live through the same pain.
The father of 5 wanted to remain anonymous, but says the overwhelming trash and remnants of alleged drug use next door have become an eyesore. So much so, he created a shield for his family.
A privacy screen at least was put up to prevent us from seeing the trash, seeing the mess. It's not 100% foolproof. They can still see into our yard. We can still see them moving.
The city of Toledo is aware of this home. A spokesperson tells me that last Monday, an inspector visited and gave the owner 72 hours to clean up the property. But residents tell me the trash is only being moved around instead. Take a look. Security video from over the weekend shows a person adding a suitcase to a growing pile of garbage in the front yard. And here, 2 night crawlers rolling carts full of items from the nuisance yard to 2 houses down.
Which it's wild to think that they feel they can just move the problem from one property to the next to try to appease the city.
Cheyenne Warnke also lives close by.
But nothing has been cleaned up. It's like they don't care. So now you guys see, like, it's just a losing battle, it feels like.
A battle that, according to the city, it's been trying to win for 2 years. A city spokesperson tells me the first cleanup orders for this house were issued back in May of 2023. Then a fine was sent at the end of June. Fast forward, new orders were updated and sent in January of 2024 and again in January of this year. Then on April 28th, the city inspector found the property still had junk, debris, trash, and litter issues. As for the owner of the home, Citizens of Hope Toledo, the city tells me they can't get in contact with the agent for it. Now, the LLC has been taken to housing court.
I feel defeated almost. There's So many times when I've been asked, why haven't I moved?
Hopefully we can get somewhere with this. It's not fair to the people in the neighborhood that do care about the neighborhood.
Reporting in Toledo, I'm Claire Mitchell.
Imagine looking at this every day. Some people near Lewis and Olson in Toledo say this has been their reality for months now. So they called us, hoping to get this growing mountain of garbage taken care of. 13 Action News anchor Claire Mitchell is on your side tonight, trying to eliminate the eyesore.
When some neighbors passing by saw me investigating this giant pile here on Lewis, they came over to me and said, "It's about time." A chair, a trash can, and a mattress. All items you usually find in a home. That's not the case here on the corner of Lewis and Olson. A massive pile of trash and furniture laying in front of a housing unit covers the sidewalk. It also has drivers. Slowing down to look.
What a mess. What an eyesore.
Deanna Long lives on Olson in what she describes as a quiet neighborhood. This messy mound is on her commute to work.
Yep, I'm going by it every day.
Other neighbors who didn't want to be on camera say it's been sitting for months. Why'd you call us?
To see if I could get something done through you guys.
My first step, talk to those living inside. No luck. Then I reached out to the city of Toledo. Toledo Municipal Court said that there was an eviction at this property back on April 3rd. A blight complaint was made on April 24th. The city spokesperson added that back on May 7th, Republic Services reported this address for having an unserviceable garbage set out and referred it to us for cleanup assistance. Since then, we had received approximately 7 additional complaints about the property, so we issued a work order. Then, just a few hours later, those complaints were answered. The garbage was gone, picked up by the urban beautification blight crew through the city after I reached out. It's a weight off the sidewalk and the neighborhood's chest. Reporting in Toledo, I'm Claire Mitchell, 13 Action News.
When their street will be repaired. They live on Glinton Drive. Residents say it's a stretch of road riddled with bumps and potholes.
Now, they say that
Some Toledo residents want to know when their street will be repaired. They live on Glinton Drive. Residents say it's a stretch of road riddled with bumps and potholes.
Now, they say they want a clean slate for themselves and the neighborhood kids and their cars as well. 13 Action News anchor Claire Mitchell on your side trying to get this problem solved.
It needs fixed tremendously.
Some Toledoans
It's a slap in the face. I'm tired of it.
are fed up
A lot of times our street looks like it's been bombed.
with the state of their neighborhood. The street in question, Glinton Drive, just off Glendale.
It is so terrible on our street.
I tested it for myself and concur. It's a rough ride. And the cherry on top of this bumpy Sunday, residents say these heavy construction vehicles are tearing up the road even more.
Complaining for years, and you come in and slap our face and just fix this road that nobody really even uses, and you're not doing ours, and you're taking your heavy equipment up and down our street, tearing it up.
That's Nick Sypersky. He's lived on Glinton for 13 years. He tells me debris from the road construction is being kicked up into his yard. The city of Toledo says construction traffic will continue to flow on Glinton until at least the end of July. That's when the work on intersecting Wilmore is expected to finish. But then what?
You know, if they're doing Wilmore, they need to do Glinton too.
Our street is horrible, and it's a main road for the kids to the elementary school. Why not fix our street?
A city spokesperson adds when the city annexed the township, it was written into the city charter that we weren't allowed to fix the unimproved streets. We amended it in November of 2023. Glinton is one of those unimproved streets, one that the city has received complaints about. However, the city spokesperson says it's not on a road program list this year or the next. In fact, the most realistic time frame would be in 3 years.
Just frustrated that they can't do our street.
These residents say it's a timeline they don't understand. The city says it will continue to monitor the situation, and so will I. Reporting in Toledo, I'm Claire Mitchell, 13 Action News. In the Village of Liberty Center,
it's a small town, got a big heart.
residents walk or bike
Back in the shade for you so you can.
to and from.
Oh, yes. We have walkers every morning, very early in the morning.
Village Safety Committee members Shane Piasecki and Jordan Bennett want to keep it that way, which is why they called us about their pole problem.
Poles like this. This one is just split in half and tied to another pole on East Street.
This one's actually just dangling. If a semi or somebody hit that, you can see that it's pretty easy to move.
In fact, I noticed multiple old utility poles that appeared to be placed or tied next to newer poles throughout the village. Some of them
Oh, it's in the ground.
more sturdy than others.
You can see right here.
They're dangling, and it's a hazard to anybody that really walks by it.
This pole in particular has Shane and Jordan concerned because it's hanging in front of a church.
I run the youth group here at the church, and we bring the kids outside a lot. If they're not paying attention and that falls, that could really hurt one of them.
Shane says he believes Toledo Edison is responsible for the nuisance poles and has made multiple calls for help with no results. This pole on East Street is pinned by a Toledo Edison-owned sticker.
I'd say we feel a little bit left out or forgotten, like we're so small that we just haven't caught their eye.
This resident tells me she wants to see action taken too.
Doesn't look very nice, that's for sure. And it does seem like it could be hazardous.
A First Energy spokesperson says those double poles are usually the result of a process involving several utility providers after a pole is damaged or needs to be replaced. Toledo Edison is usually the first to install a new pole. After that, it's up to the cable and internet providers to move their equipment to the new pole. Unfortunately, there's no set timeline for these telecommunications companies, which can lead to delays. In Liberty Center's case, residents say it's been a years-long delay.
But it'd be great if they would fix a safety issue for us. It's clearly a safety issue.
The First Energy spokesperson adds that CenturyLink and Time Warner cable equipment are still attached to the old poles, which is why they haven't been removed. I plan to reach out to both. Reporting in Liberty Center, I'm Claire Mitchell, 13 Action News.
Messy, dangerous, and disappointing. All words used by some West Toledo residents to describe a nearby intersection.
Yeah, they say they reached out to the city of Toledo for a solution with no luck, though. So they reached out to us instead.
13 Action News anchor Claire Mitchell is on your side trying to get this problem solved.
There's no avoiding them. Pothole after pothole.
They're everywhere.
Terrible eyesore.
Tammy Carissus calls herself the unofficial spokesperson for the neighborhood near Elsie and Garrison.
It's a very heavy traffic intersection.
Tammy says not only do the holes look bad,
but there are so many dips and heaves and holes that I'm fearful for the people who walk, and I've seen people trip.
Yeah, I picked her up just to make sure that she wouldn't, fall in and do anything like that. Yeah, that looks pretty bad, especially being right by a school right down the road.
I drive it just about every day. I could bend a rim or mess up my suspension.
1, 2. I counted what appeared to be potholes or divots in the intersection.
14, 15, 16.
And got up to 18.
We just want it fixed. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess, and it's a danger.
I reached out to the city of Toledo to see what can be done. I asked when was the last time this intersection was looked at by the city and if it would be feasible for it to be fixed in the future, but I haven't heard back. Meanwhile,
what can we do? Do I need to fill them? Do I need to go to a big box store and buy cement?
These residents say they hope the road to repairs from here on out is a smoother one. Reporting in Toledo. I'm Claire Mitchell, 13 Action News.
And late this afternoon, the city released a statement reading in part, "We planned road projects several years out, so it will be at least a few more years before a construction project is announced. I'm not aware of anything that makes this particular intersection challenging or unique. The primary reason we coordinate that work is so that we only have to tear the road up once. Potholes will be patched using hot patch. It's a temporary solution, but will hopefully make things better in the meantime."
Says he and his neighbors are being left in the dark, literally. Multiple lights are apartment complex that houses veterans, making for some dangerous conditions for the residents at night.
He says he called us for help after getting the runaround from Toledo Edison. 13 Action News anchor Claire Mitchell is on your side working to get this problem solved.
Cars on this stretch of Garden Lake Parkway in Toledo share the road with another set of wheels. That includes Kevin Collins' motorized wheelchair. He's a veteran living at the Commons at Garden Lake.
It's going on 8 years now, Claire.
But after multiple streetlights went out on Garden Lake Parkway and Billy Johnson Way, Collins says his nighttime commutes have become a dangerous feat.
They've been out for, I would say, going on 5 months at least, and it's dangerous for us veterans who are in wheelchairs.
Kevin says this area without lights is particularly dangerous because, look, this is where the sidewalk ends, forcing anybody using it out into the street. Then they're in the way of cars coming around the corner behind me and in front of me in the dark.
Because people can get hurt. It's a serious issue. That's why I reached out to you guys to see if you could help and get us some answers.
Collins says he and his neighbors have made multiple calls to Toledo Edison over the last few months without any results. So I gave it a try. I reached out to First Energy to figure out when the lights can be repaired. A spokesperson responded saying, "We are aware of an issue with a portion of an underground line that feeds the lights near the Commons at Garden Lake. Repair work is scheduled to take place there this weekend. The line runs under the road, which makes the repair a little more complicated." Adding, "We understand that streetlights are essential to our communities to support safety and security."
We just want the lights on, plain and simple.
I plan to follow up with First Energy and Kevin to see his request resolved. Reporting in Toledo, I'm Claire Mitchell, 13 Action News.
But as I came this way, I saw more and more and more branches until I found this huge branch which had been thrown into the asparagus patch.
Well, that's a Shoreland woman describing what she saw when she walked into her backyard over the weekend. Multiple branches, big and small, left on the ground here, but she didn't cut them down.
Appalled and unable to move the branches herself, she called us for help, and we got results. 13 Action News anchor Claire Mitchell is on your side working to get this problem solved.
In Judy Schweeder's 25 years on Waterpoint Court in Shoreland, she says she's never felt unsafe.
My husband had the house built.
However, she says that changed this past weekend.
Judy walked into her backyard on Saturday and was shocked at what she saw.
And I saw a branch down a little farther over, and I thought, oh, we've lost a branch off the tree.
Judy didn't want to show her face on camera. She says as she looked farther into her yard, she discovered several branches had been cut down.
And it looked like an act of aggression to me. I had no idea who did it, and so I'm stuck having to clean this up.
These branches range in size. Some of them I can hold very easily with one hand, and it's light. Others, like the one next to me, are a little more heavy, and they're pretty big.
A neighbor told Judy that Toledo Edison came in to work on a line and had to cut branches down in the process.
Which I understand. I'm just appalled at the mess they make and just leave. And I just don't feel this is right.
Judy, in her upper 70s, and her husband in his 80s aren't able to clean up the branches. So she called 13 Action News.
I was hoping something could be done, that people could be made aware of this.
I got to work, reaching out to First Energy for answers. Shortly after, a spokesperson responded saying, "I spoke to our forestry team and we will send a crew out to remove the debris as a courtesy." Some positive news for Judy. But the spokesperson added that typically the cleanup would be the responsibility of the property owner. Within an hour of First Energy responding to me, Judy texted saying the mess had been cleaned up. Reporting in Shoreland, I'm Claire Mitchell, 13 Action News.